Ukraine conflict, but we now move on as Pakistan has welcomed the United States' decision to designate the Balochistan Liberation Army and its allies, the Majeed Brigade, as a foreign terrorist organisation. The move announced by the US State Department on Monday also adds the Majeed Brigade to the BLA's existing 2019 designation as a specially designated global terrorist group. Washington says the group was behind multiple attacks, including the 2024 suicide bombings near Karachi Airport and Gwadar Port, and the 2025 hijacking of the Jaffa Express train from Quetta to Peshawar, which left 31 people dead and over 300 hostages. The designation coincides with Pakistan Army Chief Asim Munir's visit to the US and comes less than 2 weeks after both countries agreed to boost trade and energy cooperation. The BLA has long fought for an independent, resource-rich Balochistan, targeting Pakistani forces, infrastructure and foreign nationals involved in projects. Well, joining us to discuss this development, Adit Qatari, a foreign affairs expert who's joining us live from London. Adit, it's always a pleasure to have you on the programme. Of course, we brought the news earlier about this designation and a shift to a foreign terrorist organisation for the BLA, but we've now had a reaction from Pakistan. Is the reaction what you expected, and how does this place US-Pakistan ties?
So I think definitely there's a sense of a reset between the United States and the Pakistani relationships, and that is primarily due to everything that's happening in the Middle East as well. I mean, we've got to remember that, Asad Munir's second visit to the United States coincides with, the outgoing commander of CENTCOM, General Kurila. So he's basically leaving, and as a consequence, they want to make sure that there is no such vacuum, and whoever is coming in next, works in close proximity with the Pakistanis to ensure that there is no sort of lag with the intelligence sharing mechanism. So all of these kind of things put into play, with the naming of the Majeed Brigade, in addition to the BLA, which was named in 2019 of July, I believe, as a designated terror organization, only leaves a smile on the face of General Asif Munir, Field Marshal Asif Munir. It's also gives him a little bit of some sort of ammunition to go back to his local audience, his local sort of domestic audience, and say that, this is what we've achieved as a consequence of partnering up with the United States. And it also demonstrates that, we are moving strongly against the Baloch, insurgents, etc. And, because there is a big narrative in Pakistan that most of these BLA and the Majeed Brigade and the TTPs are being funded by India. So, domestically, he's got a narrative to say that, we now have the United States backing us. And as a consequence, these are the Indian funded terror groups working and functioning within Pakistan who have now been designated as proscribed terrorist organizations. So it's a whole mixed bag of consequences and narratives that the Pakistani Field Marshal basically goes home with.
Absolutely. And Adit, let's just read out this statement once again that came from Army Chief Field Marshal Asim Munir. He said to a Pakistani diaspora in Florida on Saturday, "We are a nuclear nation. If we think we are going down, we'll take half the world down with us." Obviously, those are the words over the weekend. Now, this action from the United States. Do you think that those comments are being taken seriously by the US, and will that have any ramification on US-Pakistani relations?
Again, it was this particular comment was made in a closed door event. So there are no sort of recordings. Remember that there were no mobile phones allowed within this particular, diaspora meet. As a consequence, there is absolutely no evidence which the US can go by to, basically school Pakistan for making such a irresponsible and, completely, inhumane kind of a statement But somewhere or the other, the United States intelligence and the deep state are completely aware about these kind of, rhetorics being made out of their soil, which is highly condemnable. But they are not in a position to school Asim Munir, because they also realize that whatever Asim Munir is again saying is not for the international audience. It's for the Pakistani diaspora. It is for the home audience sitting within Pakistan, which continues to platform the Pakistani army and the establishment as its safekeeper and the people who basically protect them. They still do not hold the Pakistani army accountable for the excesses that they have caused, not only just to the Pakistani people, the Baloch people, etc. But remember, in the 70s, it was the Pakistani army which was hired like the mercenaries by the king of Jordan to basically cull Palestinians. So there is absolutely no accountability, no sense of accountability which is seeped into the Pakistani people, because they suffer from a acute sense of amnesia.
Adit Qatari, as always, such a pleasure to speak with you on the programme. Thank you ever so much for your insights. We will continue to monitor the situation that is at play in Pakistan and also in relations with the US. Let's move on now to the Middle East, and the UN's Human Rights